Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Adamant Algorithm. This is Surain. In this video we are going to look at how to move our 2D character in the horizontal directions. Well, basically I skipped this topic because I thought there are a lot of videos in the internet speaking about the same, but this is a special request from few of you guys, so I thought I do respect those requests, and here we are. Well, in this video we will try to keep the logic as simple as possible, and we will try to achieve this with as minimal lines of code as possible. Okay, so now let me quickly explain the setup that I have. Well, basically I have a character, the Santa, and okay, that's my main player, and I do have a box collider that is actually rigid body 2D is there so that it actually will free fall and will take part in physics, and I have a box collider 2D for as a collision detection, and of course I have an animator here because I did animate this using the animation window. Well, basically if you are wondering how to create sprite animations, please take a look at the description section of this video. I have given you my previous video on the topic, and I have explained very clearly how to create sprite animations. Okay, so the scene is really simple. I have just a the grass with the edge collider so that it can stop objects from falling down, and I have a few prefabs that actually has collider. Because what I'm going to do now is, in this video we will start creating movement for this character in both left and right directions, and in the next video, as a continuation of this, I'm going to create jump as well. Okay, single jump, double jump, we can achieve both of it. Okay, well, let me quickly show you the animations I have via the sprite. If you take a look at the sprite, I have environmental sprites where the grass and other things are. I have idle animation, idle sprites, jump sprites, and run sprites for this particular Santa character, and this is the idle sprite frames, and this is the jump, which I'm not going to use now, and this is the run. Then again, okay, I'm not going to I'm actually have already created in here. Okay, so now if you take a look at it, I have Santa idle selected. If I press the play button, okay, this is the idle animation, just breathing idle state. Okay, and I have one more animation which is Santa run, that is actually given here. Well, the first things first, let me play the game. Okay, and we will see what is happening. Okay, so because of the rigid body, the Santa has landed on the ground, and left and right keys doesn't do anything in the keyboard. There is absolutely no movement whatsoever, okay, as of now, because that's what our mission for this video. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, the first thing is you need to open up the Animator window in Unity. Go for Window, Animation, Animator. Okay, so we have this window. It's not showing anything, so choose your Santa, okay, your player, and where the animation where you have created the animation to. This is the object where the animations you have created in Unity is attached to, and that's why now this area is populated. Okay, and this actually clearly shows. Okay, and this also I have explained very well in my previous video, I mean in the video where I talked about the creating animations, so please visit that if you are new to this video. In here I'm not going to talk about any of those things which I have already explained. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create connection from my Santa idle to Santa run. Okay, what happens if I actually try to create a connection now? Right click, make transition. Okay, and if you select the transition itself, you can get what is the settings that you would have. This is the area where the transition happens. I don't want to wait, because this is very useful when you are dealing with 3D characters, where from idle to run and run to jump, there is there should be some connection. Okay, but as long as the 2D is considered, I have to change the sprite straight away. So I'm gonna say transition duration is 0, so that there is absolutely no ease in or ease out when I change animations. Okay, so this is what I have connected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it here so I can easily see it. All right, CF. Okay, that will zoom you in. Okay, let me just play the game. Let's see what happens. As you can see now, the Santa run is working, okay, for no reason, because I have given a blunt connection without any conditions. Okay, I just wanted to show you what I have done. So what I'm going to do is I'll delete it. I'll come back to this later because I have a mammoth task in front of me which I need to make sure that character moves using the code. Okay, so how to do that? Well, basically, let's see the pseudocode. The pseudocode is going to be, I want this logic to happen. For example, you have, okay, keyboard buttons. So when I press the left button, the character should actually run left. When I press the right button, keyboard, so the character I want to run right hand side. Okay, and not only this, what if the gamers are so fond of, you know, vast keys, right? So A always stands for left and D always stands for right. Okay, so gamers tend to go for this combination. Well, basically how to handle this situation. Okay, pretty much it's, let me tell you one thing. If you go to input manager, okay, of Unity, where is it? Preferences, external tools, no, just one second, where is it? Okay, not under preferences, I guess. Edit, project settings, there we go, input manager. Okay, if you just click the axis that is available, you can able to see there are several you know, usual words that we use: horizontal, vertical, fire 1, fire 2, fire 3. Well, basically what are these are presets that comes built in with Unity. Okay, why this is actually can able to fast forward, okay, what we are about to do. The easiest word is preset. Okay, if you actually click on horizontal, can you see the settings that comes with Unity? The name, it says horizontal, and what it represent is the negative button for this particular movement is going to be left arrow, positive button is right arrow. At the same time, alternative negative button is A and alternative positive button is D. And gravity, dead, all this kind of sensitivity, everything is actually given. And axis is x-axis, which is horizontal. Okay, if it is Y, obviously we are talking about this one. Okay, so now actually these things will make more sense to you. I think let me allow you guys to guess what vertical would stand for. Okay, so that would represent vertical movement. Okay, you know, it would represent W, or you know, on the up arrow key, and so on and so forth. Fire 1 stands for mouse button, left mouse button, right mouse button, so on and so forth. In the next video we are actually going to look at jump. Obviously, you know, you guessed it right, it's a space bar. Okay, that's what it represents. Why this is important? Okay, can't you actually mention the keys that we are going to use in the code? Well, that's a very bad habit. Why? Because you know, you cannot actually leave the players guessing. Okay, you need to give them the usual thing that they have used to. Okay, with games they might go for WASD or they might go for arrow marks. Okay, so if you use axis, okay, with the names that comes built in with Unity, it will make your life a lot easier. All right, so let's go ahead and create the player movements right away. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my player, go for some code name like Santa move script. Okay, so create an ad, double click that, let me open that in my IDE. Okay, here we go. Right, yeah, it's loading. Let me zoom in it for you so it's easy for you to take a look at. I think it's big enough. Okay, so we have start function and update function. So what we're gonna do is we are going to create a new method. Okay, we're gonna call it Santa movement. Okay, so in here what we're gonna do is, this is going to be a method. Okay, in here we need to first of all get the input from the user. For that we need to use float. Okay, Santa move value, anything you want to say. Okay, that makes sense to you. Float Santa move value is equal to, what you could do is input dot get access. Okay, when you use get access, the Unity or the IDE will always expect the name. We already know, I just showed you, the axis we are going to use is horizontal. Since it is a name, you need to actually put it inside the double quotes. Okay, and that's it. So what literally this line of code does is, it actually takes your keyboard value, whether it might be negative or positive according to the keys that is pressed by the user, take that value and store it right inside the Santa move value. Okay, so we are actually going to process this data further. So according to the value that is stored in this Santa move value, we need to move our character according to it. So you guessed it right, in order to move you need to go for transform.translate, which actually serves as the movement, this one, and where we are going to move to a new position. So it's gonna be new vector 3. Okay, what is the x position, y position, and z position. X position we should not tell that by ourselves, because we are going to use the value that is stored inside Santa move value. So that's what exactly need to come here in the place of x. So what we're gonna say is whatever the user moves. So what I'm gonna say is, instead of x, I'm gonna say Santa move value, comma, are we moving our character in the vertical position, which is y? No, so 0f. Are we doing anything with z axis? No, 0f. Okay, now we have actually done this correct. Okay, now there is one problem. Okay, we need to control the movement value according to our desire. For example, speed. Okay, in order to give a freedom for the programmer or to check the correct movement speed and during this development stage, we need to have float. Okay, speed is equal to, let's say, 5f. Okay, and what I'm gonna say is, I need to look at it inside. Now I need to edit this value within the editor. So I'm gonna actually say serialize the field. What this does is it allows us to actually access to this variable right within the Unity editor in graphical user interface itself. So we don't have to come back here to change the value every time. Okay, so float Santa value move value is equal to this, and this one is this. Now what I'm going to do is, to a new position Santa move value, I'm going to multiply with my speed variable, so that when I change this variable up or down, since it is multiplied with the keyboard value, this will decide how faster or slower the character need to move. Okay, well, basically, last but not the least, this code will not work at the moment, because this is a method, and you need to actually call this method right inside the update function, okay, for that to happen. So we will actually say Santa movement called inside the update, go back to Unity, wait for a while it to compile. Okay, and we will find out whether it works or not. Okay, everything is fine. Press the play button. Oh, can you see what's wrong with that? Okay, those who know what is happening, you know what the thing is, you go ahead and fix it. I purposely did not do that. There is one thing that you need to do whenever you are trying to move things in 2D or even in 3D. Well, basically everybody's computers are different. Okay, you might develop or play the game in mobile phone, or you could be able to use a very ultra high Alienware PC. or a Macintosh or whatever. Okay, according to your CPU speed, your character is being processed. That is not correct, and that is not fair towards the players, because a player who has an amazing system will easily win, okay, if the game is based on clock speeds of your computer. So what you need to do is you need to convert your game into time based, so that the calculations and movement are everything based on real world time, not according to the CPU clock speeds. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say. In order to do that, Santa move value times speed times what you need to do is time dot delta time. What this does is this actually, okay, multiplies the real world time clock speed, okay, not the clock speed, the real world time seconds or milliseconds or whatever, so that the movement will be delayed and not according to CPU speed. That's exactly what we are looking for. Now let's check again. Okay, I wish my computer is a little bit faster. Come on now. Okay, super cool. Okay, now the thing is I'm using W key and D key to move. Now I'm using left arrow and right arrow. See, voila. Okay, so since I have used axis, okay, horizontal, whatever that is given in Unity's preset, that works for me. Now I actually see the speed is really less because I have used speed is 5. This is what I told you. Now I would like to change it to 10 and test it. Okay, because my game is running, I can test it here itself. Yeah, more like it. Okay, I like it. So what I'm gonna do is change the value to 10 permanently. Okay, and we are done. Now only one problem. What is that problem? The character is not running. For example, it doesn't seem to be running. It's moving fine. That's it, guys. By the way, you have achieved character movement with just a couple of lines. Okay, that's it. These 2 lines does the magic. But we need to add more decorations to make it more convincing for the players to look at the character. Okay, your character is moving, but it is not running. So what we need to do now is we need to find a way that whenever user presses the arrow keys or trying to move the character, the sprite animation from Santa idle need to transit to Santa run. Okay, when the person stopped moving, it has to go back from here to the Santa idle. So how to do that? Well, let me actually go ahead and create a transition, okay, right here. Okay, and I'm going to create another transition right there. Okay, leave it as it is for now. In here, if you come to the parameters, okay, go to the parameter and create a new parameter. Okay, what is it? I'm gonna go for a condition, and that's why I'm going to choose bool. Okay, so I have selected bool. I'm gonna rename it as run. Okay, and I'm gonna click this condition. Okay, this arrow mark, this represents at what condition I need to convert from, I mean need to travel from Santa idle to Santa run. In here on the right hand side, you can take a look at this, what is called condition. In the condition, press the plus button. Okay, say the run is there, is true. So what is our condition for the sprite, okay, to transit from Santa idle to Santa run? The condition is the run parameter needs to be true, so that, you know, this will happen. Then again, as I mentioned before, I'm going to make the transition duration 0. Okay, and it has no exit time. How to go back is basically when the condition becomes false. Okay, that's it. Again, there is no transition, make it 0. So, well, basically we have achieved it here, but it will not transit unless it becomes you know, true. I'll show you that. Well, basically the character is now in idle stage, as you can see. When this becomes true, the character is running. When it becomes false, it stops moving. So how to, you know, control this using the code? Okay, that's exactly what we are going to see. In order to do that, we need to access the animator component attached to our player Santa. Okay, well, how to do that? Pretty simple. Go over here. Okay, you can go for Animator. Okay, we are actually giving a name Animator. We're gonna say Santa Animator. Okay, we have declared an animator variable. In the start, we need to get the component, so we'll keep it ready for usage. So Santa Animator is equal to, okay, get component animator component, and keep it ready. And in here, Santa movement, once this is happening, when the character is moving, we need to say Santa animator dot set bool. Okay, so we're gonna say what is the name of our boolean parameter. This is exactly run, and what we are doing, we are going to make it true. Okay, so now what happens this is when somebody actually click, when this is happening, it actually makes it true. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. I think when you press the play button, the character will start running. Okay, I'm deliberately doing that so that you know what is a mistake. Can you see? The character started moving, running. We did not do anything. The character is always running now. Okay. The problem being is, as I said before, this condition is always true because it's already declared right here in the update function. Okay. So we need to find a way to actually turn it only on, okay, when the character is being moved. All right. So how to do that is the one that we are going to look at. So what we need to do now is we need to actually remove this line. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it. Okay, we can't put it inside update because we need to write a condition for that. So what I'm gonna do is we need the character to switch to run sprite only when we are changing the Santa move value, right? We know that. That's the way we can able to find out that the user is giving the input. In order to do that, I'm gonna say a simple logic. If Santa move value, which is the keyboard value that we take it from the user, is not equal to 0. Okay, you understand the logic, right? Because when you're giving negative value or positive value, it definitely either less than 0 or more than 0. So we are actually deducting the movement via this way. Okay, there are several other ways. This is the easiest logic you can go for. Okay, as far as I know. I mean, this is how I roll it. So, well, if Santa value is not equal to 0, then we're gonna say Santa animator or set bool is true. Of course, you guessed it right. Else, which means if it is not equal to 0, okay, sorry, if it is equal to 0, then the user is not giving the input, so the character should stop moving. So I should say false. Okay, so let's see whether it works. It's been a while since I made moving a character in a couple of lines. So we play the thing. Voila. Can you see? Whenever I actually press the keyboard, the character is moving. Okay, and it's hilarious. Okay, the problem is the character, there is one particular problem we are facing. I think you got it right. Okay, our logics work perfect, but when we press the left button, the character need to turn around. Okay, but that is not happening here. So how to achieve that? So, well, let's find out what is responsible for rendering the sprite. In the Santa player, okay, we have one component called the sprite renderer, which is responsible for rendering our sprite. Now, if you see in Unity 2020 and above, we can able to see this flip option, okay, where if it is clicked, let me tell you, if you flip it, if this is a Boolean condition, this flip is, if you click this, can you see it flips the sprite? Okay, and that's exactly what we want. But again, we need to actually access this sprite renderer from the code. Okay, so you know exactly how to do that. The same way we have accessed our animator. So I'm gonna say sprite renderer oops, sprite renderer Santa sprite renderer. Okay, I'm sorry, I usually go for long names. So Santa sprite renderer is equal to get component sprite renderer, and keep it ready for me so that I can use it anywhere I want. Now we have this condition here. So what we could do is we can actually use another if statement right here, okay, which is if Santa movement value is less than, okay, 0. You know what I think you guessed it right. Where I'm heading is if Santa move value, if the keyboard value from the user is less than 0, of course the user is then clicking the negative value, which is left direction. So we need to flip the character to the X. So what we're gonna do is Santa sprite renderer dot, okay, flip X is equal to true. Okay, so what this does is this actually flips it. Okay, else, okay, Santa sprite renderer, no, else if there is another condition, Santa, okay, move value is greater than 0, then you know what happens, right? The user is actually processing the right hand side arrow mark. So it actually does the same. Control C, Control V, instead of true it's going to be false. Okay, go ahead and take a look. Okay, press. Okay, sweet. Can you see? Perfect. Okay, so I think this is super cool. All right, so this is the intended effect we are looking at. The next thing what we are going to do is we are actually going to make this Santa jump so that he can reach places above. Okay, I know this is a bit long video, but I don't want to rush because these things, you know, are very important. Now I think I've actually made everything pretty clear right here. Okay, we have a set of conditions. Well, basically you can reduce a few lines of code using, you know, getting the component and all everything. Rather than doing this, you can able to get it right in here. Okay, since this is targeted towards the beginners, then obviously I think this is fair enough for you guys, so that it's easy for you to understand. Okay, so I think you enjoyed the video. If you have come this far, please do support the channel and well, basically have fun when you're developing games. What else? So I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, of course the part 2 of this particular video is going to be the Santa jumping, so you know, look forward for that, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Okay, so please do subscribe and support, and take care of yourself. All right, all the best. Bye guys.